He'll be speaking on microinverters and optimizers. So over to you, Mr. Sharma.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. It's quite a challenge now. We have two issues. One positive, one negative. Positive that you guys are not hungry. Negative that how to keep yourself away from the sleep. But I will try and please help me to. What I'm going to cover, a very interesting part of it is, we are, by the way, system integrator. I will give you a little bit idea what we are and how we are. But before that, I will just a little bit set the pace that we are not biased towards any product. I'm very careful that don't promote any idea. We are just talking about technology, and that's where I put it name called Game Changer. And during this process, I will give you a little bit idea about our organizations and very quickly about myself later. But what I'm going to cover is that these items. I think I'm very sure all of you know what type of grid system is that. It's off-grid, hybrid, and all type of systems. I think I will not go in detail about design. Just I pick up only one item which is related to this. What I'm going to talk is about the on-grid system. That's where I'm just taking a little bit idea about it. When I go to the string inverter, how it works, and that will set the pace that how we can. End of the day, what I'm going to try, I don't know how much successful I will be, to make this panel very smart. Everyone is talking about smart this, let's talk about a smart panel. But you have seen this since morning about the prime round about the panel. I would like to do a little bit more how we can get out of the maximum energy from this. This is about us. This organization is incubated from Orwell, international city, which is near the Pondicherry. I think most of you know. And this is an organization that was 16 years old. Dr. Gordon is not there because Odisha, we have done a lot of projects on solar pump. We started from solar pump on the communities, this organization. And then we took it, this concept, and took it out, and now we are stationed at Bangalore. I have one founder with me who is from US, and I spend most of the time in Singapore, around 26 years, working with ABB. There I was heading the operation in Indonesia and Singapore. So I see solar as a little bit different angle. You can call it third party. I dealt with the industries in and out. Now I'm seeing solar, how it's going to, what is the problem, what are the issues, and try to address slowly. Very interesting. When I joined and I started this venture, I was discussing where we should focus. Should we focus to the industries, commercial? And there were a lot of argument, and then I decided to go for residential. Focus on residential. I strongly believe that residential is going to make it or break it, this solar success. Whether you guys believe it or not, but agree with me. But that's where we are talking about decentralized residential sector. Very painful. You see, the 1 kilowatt is a system which I installed in my villa, and we have done up to 391. That's the one part. It doesn't mean that we don't do the projects on industry. We have done a couple of them, but mainly focus. And remember, 3.5 megawatt, how many projects we have done. And that gave us a kick out of it when the guy buy this from his hard-earned money, put it on the top of his bedroom, and then you see that they like how it's working and how it's demanding. IRR doesn't take place, very important role in that. Return of investment doesn't take a role of it. Something drive them to go for this, and that's keep us driving also to look at solution. That's create with this 3.5 megawatt also create a knowledge in our systems, and we work very closely with Sunlit Future for all the projects. Very quickly, we will self-praise. When we started this residential, one of the residents in Whitefield in Bangalore bought the on-grid system, off-grid. And after some time, he was complaining, and then we converted to the hybrid, and we become the first one. And we use this inverter called Studer, which is a Swiss make and one of the high-end inverters. Second one, we did it very recently. a diesel integration. Again, focusing that how we save the different type of fuel consumptions. And it's not very big, maybe someone has done it, but we took it 6 months to convince CIG that how it can be safe when we are going on grid and we are adjusting the diesel power. So that's also we become first in Karnataka. India, we have done a couple of them. By the way, we use Schneider inverter here. Then this is one of the done. Now it's being used in Kerala, but it was developed in Auroville. Just to give you an idea, we are proud what we are doing it. This is not an NGO, this is a profit and loss organization, but we are working hard to make it out of it. Let's talk about a little bit on grid, which is my subject, and how we see that is going to change the game in coming time. To explain, this is simple on grid system where we use the grid as a storage. And that's where we convert this panel, that's a converter, and we are using different type of inverters, string, central, and I will talk a little bit more about new inverters which has come out and which is going to knocking the door now and telling this string, you guys wake up. Another thing I also noticed coming out from multinational organization like ABB, there's missing, some technology development is missing. And very surprisingly, who's driving? Suppliers are driving technology. It's not very good sign. Users should drive. And that's why I will talk a little bit more about how users are telling, I have got this shadow, what I should do. I've got this problem, what I should do. One more slide is a little bit educational. How these strings are connected is around 12 panel in the row, in the series, sorry, and another 10 panel. And output of a string is come out around 1000 volt. 1000 volts sitting on top of your hole. And there's a form of the DC which will be converted in the AC later. And we'll talk about that. What is that risk factor is there. Please don't get me wrong. Most of the systems are string operated. So please don't that I'm taking a negative view of a string. String is the future, a string is the present. So, but I'm just trying to give another angle, another twist of this whole idea. And many ideas are coming from this presentation is looking this solar industry from a distance, how these issues are there. So what are the challenges we are having? One big challenge I saw in working in Bangalore is also that mismatch. So what happened that if you have 12 panels in one string and one panel is different, this will suck the power of others because MPPT pick up the lowest one. That's called mismatch. We will address that issue later. Production when shadow. I will show you one small video, can give you idea that how much is this guy can damage. Whatever tracker you use, and I'm sorry, a lot of people, experts are sitting here on tracker, but this is shadow, which comes, as Navratan was telling that this is a time and other things here, how this can kill, particularly when it comes to string inverter. It can slow down all power generation out of it. Lowest level, which is already covered a bit, when you are doing remote monitoring also. So roof is very limited, particularly in Bombay. She's from Pune, we were just discussing. In Bombay, the roof is very less in all multi-story buildings. We are a bit lucky in Bangalore and Karnataka. We have it, like I live in villa, and houses are there where we can install this. But when there is issues are there, the limited roof is how we can utilize. And another thing is scalability. It become very much when I started operating in OPEX model. People are asking that. I put it now, and particularly this also become a major issue when the price of the panel is going down. So this is the first industry I have seen when people are not happy or confused. Normally people say, oh my God, price of total is going down, why not do we use it? What happened there? Particularly in the residential sector, people stop buying. They see that this is the bottom up. If I make it a decision now, tomorrow it will go down further. That also raised the scalability, and then he's stuck up with this 3 kilowatt system, and he cannot increase more because of the inverter issues. And safety and high voltage DC voltage will check up later. So what happened there? There is a two new technology come in the market, which is very well. I'm not touching a subject like a rocket science. It's very well tested in Europe and US, which is I'm going to touch here, and little bit, but India is still very new. That's why I call it as a game changer. This is called microinverter. So what if you see very smart, like this fellow, this inverter is just stuck up below the panel. Okay, and then you take it out and you are getting AC. So this is a first step when people call our plug and play. You imagine you go to mall and I say, okay, I can have one panel which just comes and just put it to power and you are there. So that's a little bit a starting point of that. And it becomes so popular in US and other places. So what happened that suddenly DC is coming out and going to the inverter. If you go further, this fellow, then suddenly now AC is coming out from this panel. Okay, and other things are more or less similar. So all MPPT, maximum power tracking, is done in this small unit which is stuck up below that. This is the IPC67, so there is a very much they have taken care of the issues. Another guy came. It's more or less similar technology, and coming time for some time we'll compare this, called power optimizer. How it's different from microinverter, just to set so that you remember. This fellow sits also in the same location where your inverter, microinverter is sitting, but this is optimizing the power. So you remember there's two actions take place in inverter and string. One is MPPT, another is converting from DC to AC. So this guy has done in a separation. Okay, let's do optimization. Let's do the MPPT here and bring the DC and get it another inverter. This is called a string inverter, and this also has the same technology. So we have now two technology come out, optimizer and I will give you a little bit more detail how this impact of the game. Let's talk about the module independence. If a string inverter is used, because of the inbuilt nature of the MPPT, the mismatch leads to the system-wide inefficiencies, pick up the lowest which is coming out from that. So if there is a small mismatch is there, that lowest one, or I call it poorest one, will decide the game. This is my power output. Then also that with the architect, independence is so that no single module can drag down the system. If you remember, we talk about each and every panel is monitored separately. So this guy is doing optimizer and microinverter is doing monitoring separately, which is so that this fellow can tell if this particular panel is not making effect. Let's go further. I will talk a little bit later. This is the outcome of it. So Dr. when you were away, we were just talking about it. This is a different type of technology we are trying to bring it around, making this panel, which is I feel a little bit dumb, to make it smart. So here we have, like if you don't have and you are using a string inverter, then the power can be pulled down because of one poor fellow, or one soil is there, dust is there, and another is shadow, can pull down the power up to the 50%. And by using microinverter and optimizer, you can bring the power up to the 84.2%, and I will explain to you a little bit later how they do because of this monitoring of individual panels. This is another interesting video, which is I think maybe less than 1 minute, so don't worry. So what is happening that this is developed by one of the product called Enphase in US. So this is a rooftop. By the way, I'm focusing only on the residential, so let's focus on that. I'm not talking about commercial and other. So this fellow is coming. Now slowly shadow breeze started. Shadow started coming. And this is the output on top of it. And that's going down for different part of it. You can hear me? Is okay?
Yeah.
And this is a little bit a part of it total which we have. So now this shadow which is coming is reducing the power generation of these particular panel. Just bear with me for another few seconds. Okay. Now see that how it affects the output. If it would have been a string inverter, output would have been 0 because one shadow has come. By the way, in my villa, I put it 1 kilowatt system. And this guy was so adamant, this Tata Sky, he has an antenna there and he doesn't want to change the location of antenna. And that fellow is killing my all power generation. Can you believe that? Because the moment sun comes there, and either I have a compromise, I stop watching the TV or get a power generation. So I pick up the first one. So what I'm trying to tell is that this is the way and what the power generation is like. And I've got some live examples also I will show. So how another is also issue is there when you are distributing the architect, you are putting the inverter below the panel installed there. So it's very much distributed. If one inverter is damaged, it's only effect on the one panel, not others. Here, what you see that in string inverter, we see average. Please don't quote me, but this is a survey done that 2% of the total failures create a power outage of that. And you see, this is the way we work. So what will happen that this fellow when go down, this total power is out and that comes. That's another reason. We'll summarize a little bit later. Then also more space utilizations you can do. You need not to focus that where shadow is coming because shadow is being taken care, soiling is taken care and all these type of things. With the micro inverter and output power. Then another thing is increase the panel efficiency. Of course, as he mentioned and also Dr. about the panel, how you do the tracking and then you can increase the efficiency. Here is different technology we use it. Because this fellow who's sitting there in MPPT, it picked up on the lower side. When in the morning it started picking up the sun. There is a one portion of the curve you see, there is a less voltage generated and you cannot get the power output. But other portion will get the output part of it. And this fellow MPPT will store it. So this is 3 to around 5% of it. This is just one to show that string inverter is this one. And that's getting a DC voltage, which is, by the way, 1000 volt is going here. And that's also caused a very safety hazards because we don't know how to handle DC. We know exactly AC handling, but DC is a little bit a challenge. And that's where this ACs come out. This is another one where microinverter is used. And I've borrowed this from one of the product suppliers, this slide, and just to convey the message. So what is the summary out of it? Because of these intelligent guys sitting there below the panel, he monitors. And that's why they, around the baseline disadvantage, they have done a survey and they went to the even lab. I have got a result, but I am not supposed to show that because it's a property, intellectual property. They have done that the baseline advantage is the 1.7%. Module degradation is 1.45%. Impact of shading, which is come every day in this, is around, soiling is around 1%, system available, 4.7%. It's nothing compared to tracking system where we are talking about 25% increase and blah, blah. But this is a very important when we are handling at the source. This increase is a very major increase when it comes to the power generation. That's what we call it. So you have seen microinverter, you have seen power optimizers and different technology developed by different, and that's a bit done in also one by using string inverter. This size was around 15.96 kilowatt in Mango Mist in Bangalore, those who knows. And this is done at a 1.18 kilowatt. And total energy per kilowatt is quite high when we are using the string inverter. It's not a fabricated system. This is another issue about safety. There's only one slide I have put it here. It's in US, now it's becoming a very serious issue. Because you are really exposing the solar system, exposing it in a safety issue. It has not hit yet in particular, and I'm again mentioning it's major issue when it comes to the rooftop. This creative way. So that is where we are doing that, we are converting in some cases AC power is off. The moment AC power goes off, output is also completely off. So there is no power required. So just to summarize this whole discussion that then you have two products, microinverter and power optimizers. And I will tell you that this is the technology, how this is driving. So first item, yes, what you can do, again I repeat what I mentioned, that you can monitor panel by panel. need not to monitor the whole string, which consists of 12 panels. And guide decide future of the string output decide by one monitor who is monitoring. Here you can go to the one panel by panel. And power optimizers, they come out another solution to save the cost. They can do even one panel as well as two panel. And the output is DC in that place. Here is output is AC, and AC we can handle very easily. Another is failure point, which I have already discussed. Because what is happening that in inverter, microinverter, failing point is in one place. And power optimizer is coming again to the string inverter, because ultimately you have to take the output to the string inverter. If you go to the limit here, this is the one. So this is the point where you are taking up this another inverter is still there and it's part of it, and that makes a little bit difference. In this case, is of course the failure point is less. Go back to this slide, which is the last slide by the way. Here, DC voltage in microinverter when we are this is very neutral analysis I have done by seeing these two technology, because we don't want to be seen as a biased. We are a system integrator. Everything is great for us, which a customer, we can satisfy the customer. Then is no high DC voltage, easy of installations. Of course, there's one cable, just plug in, you can get it here. That's we call it plug and play in the microinverter. Cost wise is very interesting. Cost is when it comes to the power optimizer, when you still using another string inverter, when size become big, like Cisco, like Infosys, when there is requirement of 1 megawatt on the rooftop of the car park area, this become very critical. Microinverter, because you are having, sorry.
Would you be able to put a range? Say for a 500 kilowatt project.
I will prefer not to. But I just giving you a little bit idea how difference is that I will cover in the last that one. But I will a little bit avoid, but this is just to give you idea. Okay, how much percentage, I will give you a ball figure, how much percentage here we are still figuring out the processes. Monitoring, it's a module level monitoring. Another is the 1 and 2 inverter. Cabling is a trunk exchange, and scalability, you can put it. Like today you want to start with the 1 kilowatt, you can go to the 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt, and you can go on increasing the point. Here is limited by. You can use, just to give you idea, you can use like around 35 panels in one string. Because there is a string inverter here, you can unlimited, you can do that. So I think I raised a lot of questions and answer by giving this in. And just to summarize that this technology is not the new. It's a well proven in Europe. They have done around 2 gigawatt installations. India microinverter is very new. We are still struggling. Price wise, you asked a very good question. Price wise is also because it's around 20%, 50 to 20% higher.
So that's on microinverter?
But microinverter. And when it comes to the power optimizer, when you go long way, it will go down. But we have done LCO, levelized costing, and we found that still people are preferring, they are coming to us, they are knocking the door. We are telling that guys, wait till we figure it out how to sort it out, the inventory and support and that part of it. Let's look at a price difference. Power optimizer is a well-proven, they have done 20 megawatt. And mostly just happen, I don't know why, because it's driven by US, that mostly the IT offices have taken this approach. To microinverter, the sweet spot is 3 to 5 kilowatt, and we are aiming, and this suits very much with the houses, and so we are getting that type of investment. A lot of people are coming to ask these questions. We have around 30 inquiries with us on microinverter. We have launched this in Solar. This year, 2016, very good response has come together with suppliers, so we are working on it. Yes, sir.
So we understood the increase in generation on microinverters. Can you put percentage increase in power optimizers?
Power optimizers, what is our experience is that it's still higher than microinverter. Because the reason I've explained to you. Who triggered the MPPT first? Like string inverter triggered by around, correct me if I'm wrong, 32 volt is triggering point. A power optimizer triggered by 8 volt, and microinverters triggered by around 50 to 20 volt. What does it mean by that? Is that if that fellow, when you are taking this curve, morning you starting and then coming to the evening, this fellow will give the power automatically on that part. That's way limited. So power generation answer to not to confuse with power generations in optimizer is higher, right? Than this thing. But safety, both claim that we are safer than this because they have interlock. Before the AC power goes, they switch off the output coming out, so you don't get any AC. This is on-grid system, and is being now BESCOM has studied very deeply because this guy exactly what problem we face in diesel integration. It was a big project for us because they wanted zero export when you are connecting the on-grid. They wanted a zero export when the grid is off because someone is working and on. But now they have approved that. Power optimizer is already being impaneled for this. Sri Lanka, big market. So it's not a price, it's just a mindset. And Sri Lanka can afford, why not India? So we are like looking into it, and Australia is big part is coming. Any other question?
The 391 kilowatt project, you mentioned it is a hybrid project. Is it hybrid as in integrated with DG, or is it hybrid because it has battery storage as well?
Integrated with DG.
Okay. Can you tell us more about the DG sync device that you have used?
At this use, they call IFDS, DEIF, sorry. This is neither company.
I'm a DF on Inverter Solar.
And these are the very good, bit expensive. We are struggling and even negotiating the price. I don't want to tell the price of this, and but it's working. It integrate. So synchronize that first preference is coming to solar, next is coming to the grid, and third one is coming. And there is a step. Even the CIG, who is in charge, visited this site. They took it a lot of time and other efforts, which I cannot mention here. But that's where they in the end got approval. That's why we become first in Karnataka. Must be people are doing these integrations. It's not the first time we are doing it.
What is standard rating of the market?
Now this is 250 watt. So microinverter. But that can connect to the 350 or 350. So it's not an issue because that when you come to the curve, it is taking care.
Thank you. And would you mind drill down specs of the microinverter, please? The input is around 50 to 60 watts DC, right?
Yes.
And output is 230 watts AC. And ratings and other things.
Well, I can give you the spec sheet too if you wanted, if you are interested.
Yeah, okay.
But I can give it that. It's a 250 model they have launched in India. There's another they have done in the US, higher range, but it is matching with our requirement. We are using 315 watt panel.
Okay.
It's working very well.
And one more question about the cable. Like, what kind of different? How different it is? The cable.
It is very different. And I was surprised. It's a very expensive item out of that. We are still arguing and fighting with the American counterpart how to manufacture this cable in Poland. I said, we can manufacture satellite, how the hell? But they are still struggling. But this is a big, and they don't want to let it go. They feel that this is the beauty of that. Unfortunately, I didn't have picture, otherwise I would have shown you how they connect it. Just plug in, you are ready. So that's why they don't want to go. But this is a cable. You hit a good point.
It's a cable or connector?
Both, I think both. I think it's a connector. And they claim it's a both.
I don't see any changes. Tried indigenous those connectors and cables?
No, I think it's both. They claim that it is. We have not opened it yet, by the way. So we don't know.
With trade secret, okay.
Monitoring, I didn't touch the subject. It's another very big strength. I'm sorry for this. Monitoring, what happened that each and every they have envoy communication, and the monitoring done is there. Still, you need to have a remote monitoring. And this all boils down, I get it a SMS every day, how much power is being generated in my villa. And make it happy to us and other things, and like what is affecting, in spite of having this Tata Sky antenna. So,
That's the reason we are interested, because we do monitoring on all levels from SCADA to low end, and it can drill down to any particular. So anyway, like good. Thank you very much.
I was just, you were not here, I was telling, I'm just focusing on residential. I want your opinion also. I personally feel, coming from outside, lived in India for many years, if residential take off, we will take off. Solar industry will take off. Whatever you do megawatt, whatever you solar farm you do it, I'm not against of them. I'm not like this fanatic or activist, but this is the way it goes, and then we started going the same like what happened solar water heater. This will be the one. This will be a problem. Yes, sir. Yes.
What is the, I don't misspecified, I'm sorry. What is the efficiency of this inverter?
It's a 99.5,
Is it?
slightly more than the string. The string is 97.
The reason I'm asking you, early upon, microinverters had the issue with the efficiency. And in fact, we started rooftop projects with microinverters in 2010 and decided to discontinue at that time because it was not as efficient.
You are absolutely right, sir. And we have done an experiment demo in Audible, in Poncherry, near Poncherry, 3 systems. I don't want to mention the name of the company we bought very scale. They came 5 years back. I could not sort it out. They got it earlier approval than us, but they could not get it here. But there is an issue. And if there is a slight issue, then whole idea is, because we are talking about 4 to 5% and shadow and other things here. But why people are getting excited about the residential area, they see all of us having the issue or potential of issue about shadow. One palm tree has come up, which was very small earlier, when we build up and this guy is growing. You don't hate him, we like it. But this will build the power. That's
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon.
Sir, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we talk about the microinverters and the conversions and everything. It's really great thing. So I have a small thing and small doubt actually. So once it converts to AC, so what about the synchronization part? Even we are working with the operating systems. So if once the microinverter converts us to AC, so what happens to the reactive power if the frequency goes to mismatch?
I think they have this inbuilt anti-landing, some sort of a certificate they have done, which take care about it. And, am I right? Another you can help me. I'm not an expert by the way.
Anti-identity is different, but this is a normal grid type system. It doesn't have any clock or frequency generator. It takes the top or the frequency trigger from the grid. So it's nothing different from any grid type model. What does it do?
I'm not talking about like what exactly we got to the grid. So even my smallest thing, if I wanted to run a TV in my house, so it should match with.
Yeah.
They follow the voltage and the frequency of the grid.
Great, 100%.
All grid type inverters follow that.
Exactly.
So
So
no
here I
problem.
have a small doubt is, we have 4 panels and we have 4 microinverters. And we have, with the 4 microinverters, if any one of the mismatch of frequency, so it will lead to the reactive power.
No.
No.
So what will happen is each of these microinverters will follow the grid being the master here. So if suppose one misbehaves, it will trip off immediately. See, there's nothing like, will it go off the frequency? No, it has to follow the frequency. Exactly that. So there's nothing like any internal frequency, internal clock, or internal voltage reference. It's just following. So the master being the grid, all inverters will follow the frequency. The question of reactive power doesn't happen in this case, for the simple reason it's such a small device, we don't have storage, we don't have anything. So even for a temporary period, you can't have an option of feeding any reactive power. Central inverters have capacitor banks, they have LVRT requirements which these guys don't have. So it's much a simpler thing, but now the efficiencies are 99 plus, why not use it?
Anti-landing, yes, you are right, I used the wrong, apologize. That is used when we are doing empanelment to the grid. Ultimately, intention is to send this power to grid. BESCOM has asked this, like how this will be a mismatch. So that is that they have got the certificate. Now being tested, approved, and it's running. Some of the cases we have provided a this microinverter. We have installed 5 or 6 systems. It's working very well. Even in one customer who was not having confidence, we say that you go for it. If it doesn't work, we'll change it to at our cost to this same inverter. So
Is it already approved?
yes, yeah, it is approved. BESCOM, there is a certification which was going on for the last couple of months, but is going to be soon, very within a week or so. But this is a major issue in only in Karnataka, not in Kerala, not in any other places. And there's no as such issue when it comes to the certification. Okay, sir.
What's the future of microinverters in power?
Navratan, I feel that is close to my heart. I feel that is a tremendous amount of future. It's future related with the residential market. The microinverter sweet spot, again I mentioned 3 to 5 kilowatt. It's a lot, but more feature I'm seeing is the power optimizer. The moment the size increase, because this is a string inverter also they are made, you get best out of everything. You can monitor panel by panel. You can get the best out of the panel and as well. So I feel that is a only price is an issue. As you asked a very good question, price is still customers are getting limit and that it should I pay this much money. And इसका पड़ता नहीं बैठता है because this ROI जो है ना वो that's not matching yet. Because already we are struggling with string inverter, now coming another guy who's asking a little bit more. So, but people are buying because that market is environmental friendly. The market believes in saving the environment, so they are ready to pay. Who is paying this 2 lakhs and 5 lakhs?
Single phase up to 3 to 4 kilowatt doesn't matter much.
That doesn't matter. Yes, you are absolutely right. After that, MI we noticed, and we are not supposed to tell because we are neutral, that MI will started getting a high price. Power optimizers become more and more same. By the power optimizers, which is very popular, it manufactured in Israel, and this microinverters are many, as you sir has mentioned that they have couple of local. We have also have in German, but we are working very closely studying this American one, and okay, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
There are still some questions.
Oh, sorry. I'm very happy. I create so many questions. Yes, sir.
So when you speak about a 3 kilowatt system, typical example.
Don't ask
What-
difficult questions. Just kidding.
So like what it makes a difference? Maybe if I want to take a PV voltage, PV power to maybe 10 meters, and to say like cable sizing and whatever it is with respect to the microinverter, what may be the cost difference?
You are asking this at another round, but to be honest, I cannot comment that, but we are seeing that 10 to 20% higher overall cost.
It is cost of electronics.
Total. It's because of that total system.
But solar system won't be that.
No,
It is the electronics that is 10 to 20%.
Actually, electronics is slightly more than that. Because particular microinverter we are importing, so we are paying it, the custom duty is not being like as a panel. So now new concept is coming up, and I don't know if it's confidential or not. People are talking about AC PV panel. Why AC PV panel? That they telling that when they import, don't tell to Modi ji, that when you will put it that back, it become AC. When they started sending the AC panel, then makes a lot of sense. And that will be beating that because solar prices, and a lot of OEMs are very excited, particularly Vari and Vikram. So I don't know how it will affect your better market, but this is a point people are. Did I answer your question? This is around that ball figure, but people are still coming, and some people say that guys, I will buy this if you doesn't work and make it sense.
And about
5 kilowatt.
I am speaking about a 3 kilowatt system.
Okay.
Yeah. What it makes like when I want to combine maybe 10 panels.
Yes, you can do up to as many as you can. Power optimizer, there is a limitation. A guy who limit is the inverter sitting here. This fellow limit the panel, number of panel. This is power optimizer. When it comes to this, There is no limit. And that makes it very interesting, and saving comes from there. So you can have many panels in a string and then connect it. So each is independent of that.
And the architecture of the inverter, is that one and the same with the micro inverter and inverter? Yep.
No, very different. Very different.
Okay.
Because
Load connection, other things.
yeah, inverter, string inverter, all MPPT, all the intellectual what is done in the string inverter, sitting outside. This fellow sits there and do all the work below that, and also do the AC. Power optimizer, to make it very simple, MPPT done here, and the conversion is done. Sorry, here I am. I'm sorry. This is done at this point. But it's very good. It's like a one small piece closed. But only worry we are having Indian market, but it's working in Sri Lanka. No failure of this, because this fellow is sitting outside. This microinverter sitting outside, having a 431 component inside. But they have done a so much vigorous testing. They claim. We did cover a very interesting part, warranty. This is my favorite. So warranty, they claim 25 years of warranty of this microinverter. But in India, just give me a break, sir. In India, they have shown only 10. The reason is that they feel that this will conflict with other requirements. So 25 years. Optimizer, they've given 25 years warranty on optimizer, and this fellow is slightly lower. It's 7 to 8 years. So why they pick up 25 years? Because they have done a very rigorous testing in the different environments, and that's where they come up with.
Can it be connected directly to a load, or is that I'm speaking about the architecture?
I think everything can connect. Am I right? No.
Depends on whether you want to go to
No, I'm speaking about off-grid system. Off-grid system.
No. This off-grid it will not work.
it will not work.
Because you need a power, great power. So now it's coming that point is that if grid is not there, this fellow will not get the reference voltage. So now we are working with some sort of a hybrid system, which is got a battery which can be used. In my house, we are working that way. So this fellow, which is coming from micro, they will charge the battery and power. But when it comes to the net metering, grid to connect, then it will work and makes a lot of sense.
So you mean to say the concept of microinverter is not maintained
It's a grid tie.
grid type system?
That's why when I started, I make a statement. I'm working only on the on-grid.
Hybrid. They will have a
So one-
storage.
Sorry.
Not a technical one, to be
Okay.
simple.
Okay. I don't need Navaratna then.
You are a great propagator of this rooftop solar,
Yes, sir.
which I really agree, because ground mounted is a very cumbersome process, having done with it. So what are the major hurdles you see in propagating this rooftop? Because as a percentage of the projects in India today, it should be very minimal. And it will be a game changer if most of the guys get it. So what do you see major hurdles not getting into rooftop? Or the converse way, what should be done to propagate?
You see, what I'm seeing that in residential and small particular rooftop, the expertise, people are not interested. Who's going to spend money for 1 kilowatt? How much value? How much money I'm going to make it? How much I'm going to spend it? So what is happening that, this is my observation, very...
But you are a guy who put on 1 kilowatt.
Yeah, I did it, and I will continue to do. This is my passion, and this is the way I see that this time will come. Time will come when they will become mandatory. What happened with solar water heater, it will happen with this. You believe me, till doesn't happen, this solar system is failure. Whatever Mr. Modi accused, tell in Delhi, but this will be only successful when this becomes successful. To answer to your question, expertise, money saving is very less because it's such a system. Look at 3.5 megawatt. To get it there, how much pain and sweat we put it in there. And which consists of, by the way, one project of 391 kilowatt also. So it is a very big challenge. We want to excel in this solar rooftop future. Why you are going to cover in your?
So another benefit with solar rooftop is there is a lot of freedom there. You are not dependent upon utility, and ultimately I believe we are going to get into electricity as a free market economy, and rooftop will play a big role in that. And rooftops will happen independent of any policy.
I fully agree with you. In
But not
Bangalore,
just residential, industrial,
industrial
commercial,
commerce,
banks,
industrial
petrol
is
pump.
captive power. This guy who built up this project which we are showing, this is a, by the way, export company. They manufacture the garments and export to the Australia, one export. And they went into this 391 kilowatt, and this we have done. This is a RCC roof, this is a tin roof, and they are mostly they are captive. They love it because they are seeing the direct. They were running the DG set. DG set is power has gone down. We have not done recent calculation. When sell it, we did it a lot of calculation. After that, we didn't do. But we are going to do that and prove the point that how much saving is there. So I feel a solar rooftop is a lot of scope besides any fashion or motion. And somewhere it is coming mandatory. In Bangalore, there are many houses. They are very proud to tell, I don't have electric connection. I don't need BESCOM. It's not a good news, but they are already bankrupt. So now you imagine that. So what I'm trying to tell, like that's the driving force of this residential market.
As you told that it will become a mandatory.
Yes, I think Chandigarh has done, Kerala has done.
I'll tell you. The thing is, it cannot be a mandatory. Why? Because there are so many factors which is limiting that. First of all, people should be over their own houses, and they should have a shadow-free area. And moreover, they should have the availability in their distribution transformer to have the capacity addition. According to BESCOM, they have given 100% capacity addition, but in Tamil Nadu only 30% is given. So it is not mean like it's now first come first serve basis. So those who have the awareness or their futuristic approach, they will come. But when really the end customers want to go for that time definitely government is going to last 6 months there is no availability of net meters in Tamil Nadu. No plants have been commissioned.
Yeah, please.
So we want rooftop to become mandatory and so on. From my point of view, thank you. From my point of view, it's another regulation. What we need is electricity getting deregulated. We need this change of act which is due, and there is a plan to change the electricity act right after implementation of this indirect tax. In 2 years, I think it will happen. I don't know whether it will happen before election or not. Chances, but the act change will help. The act change can go to the point that you can generate excess electricity and say that I am selling it.
But that's exactly the point. Is business will roll out, return into commodity cycle. I'm an ex-telecom guy. I understand where the capex you started 10-15 years back.
Yeah.
You made huge profit because you were selling at 16 rupees per bit.
Yeah.
But today, the margins have gone so low, surviving in the business is a question mark. It's a difficult task.
But there is a way. I am shocked at the rate the battery prices are coming down. And
No,
then
exactly. The
there is a
capex
way.
comes down. It doesn't that the capex remains at the same level and your prices go down.
Yeah.
But it turns into a cycle where the margins are a question mark. People don't want to invest into the business. They don't want to get into it. At the end of the day, monetization is everything.
But at the end, you are getting cheap and
Cheaper.
telecom.
So that's where my concern, with all the respect for the rooftop, that's where my concern comes. Why, as a consumer who can see tomorrow's market turning into commodity, why do I want to invest into capex? If tomorrow the market-driven rates, you need the best of the power at the cheapest rates, and I can shift it anytime. Morning one guy, 5 p.m. one guy.
First of all, you can start saving today.
Yes, now.
And by the time the things change, the system might be
Trust
free.
me, sir, telecom took 15 years to commoditize. I can see in solar, next 4 years, the business is going to be commodity business. Trust me.
Can I add something if you allow me? We have done this exercise, what you are telling, OPEX, CAPEX, and power, access power, or what they call it, the third model. Open access, sorry. Sorry, my lack of knowledge. But what I'm saying that OPEX will not fly on the small scale, as another thing also mentioned, that the people are not ready to invest, and there's a lot of questions that will come. So CAPEX, I personally feel will continue. When question to his question that whether we can mandatory, I slightly differ. How they handle the industries. By the way, I grew up with pulp and paper and cement industry. They make it very nicely the mandatory. How? 25% of your requirement has to be captive, has to be either from the biomass and other things. And another angle, they brought it out, CSR angle. So what is happening is, I think they will do also with the residential, where they have a roof, they have to do that part. But this mandatory will come. I feel personally, if I know a little bit about central government, their approach, they will make it mandatory, and then they will take it. That is the time where.
Study states that going for net metering is actually going to make a loss for the discoms. Do you know that?
Yes, of course, because the losses, but you must also remember that the losses are also there in the historical losses are there in the Gascom. And power production, now doesn't confirm me, the power production for Gascom is not 6 rupees which they charge from us. I think it's 3 rupees. NTPC confirmed me.
So basically they are cross-subsidizing the residential.
Yes.
So
And
in
farmers.
fact, on the same point, they should promote residentials because they
I
are
would love to do
Right. So rather than promoting industries and commercial where they're directly being there and impacted, I think what should be starting is residential. But on the point of whether they can realize and make it mandatory, Ane has already done it. Ane, you run, I think more than 10,000 square feet, you don't get an approval without it. The only difference is, it puts the cheapest thermal water heating system where actually Bombay nobody wants to happen. But now people are changing.
Yeah.
People are more into solar thermal, because solar thermal is easier. Really required more. So Thane has that definition.
We have done 20 net metering system. I think we are the highest one who did it. The residential, because we are in the residential market, and they are telling that net metering is we are getting, and now this system is also getting better. Usually, lot of hierarchy or and Karnataka, and it's working now very smooth. Only problem what we face in digital integration was another layer come, because CI, central electrical, that way started getting more complicated because the size was big. Sorry, last question.
Last question. I wanted to know your thoughts on deploying DC power optimizers for large-scale, megawatt-scale ground mount projects.
No, I think it's a very good solution with the way these guys who have come out, this Israeli company, very aggressive. They have opened an office, they gave in Indian rupees, and I think there's a scope is there in the ground mounted as well as in rooftop. Rooftop more than the ground mounted.
I understand rooftop more because of the shading effects, etc., which are the type of effects we don't face in the ground mount projects, and hence this question. So would you be able to put a number, say 3% increase in capex, 5% increase in generation, something like that?
But with the crazy situation now, what is happening ground mounted that our power optimizer is not complete. I feel personally, it's my opinion, not the power optimizer suppliers say that they are going, they have got a couple of projects only with ground mounted. But the way per watt is going down, crazily down, power optimizer may, and as you mentioned very nicely, this about power tracker will make a lot of sense there than the power optimizers. There you can. I think it is a limited. I don't have a real answer whether we will go first. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.